Hi everybody, that's the Football Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Football Hut. Hope you like this video and subscribe. As you know, the Giants were very busy this offseason. One of the biggest things they did is they re-signed quarterback Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million contract. Basically, they played him out for his rookie contract. They let him play out the 5th year. He had a terrific year last year. Cut down on his mistakes. Obviously, with the new coaching staff and the new front office, they really did a major job in turning him around, turning his career around. He also did a great job, by the way, in that regard. Well, now that he has this contract, he has a lot of pressure on him. Now, I would mention that we are in New York, obviously, and he's not the big quarterback in town. And the big quarterback in town, obviously, is the big gorilla in the room, and that's Aaron Rodgers. So Daniel, to a certain degree, is going to fly under the radar. And the Giants are going to actually do that as well, considering they've always been the big brother in town. They might be sharing some of the spotlight with the Jets. The Jets are talking about going to the Super Bowl. But, you know, it puts Daniel in an interesting position. Might not be as much pressure as there would have been if Aaron Rodgers weren't here. But a lot of people believe in People believe in Daniel. And I got a couple of articles for you to chew into. And one is about Eli Manning, the former Giants quarterback and the predecessor to Daniel. 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Probably a future Hall of Famer as well. Headline from GiantsWire.USA today. Headline. Eli Manning has faith Daniel Jones will deliver Giants a title. That's a lofty goal. That's really putting the ante up. New York Giants and their fan base seem to have made the transition from Eli Manning to Daniel Jones without much fanfare. I wouldn't go that far. I've been those first 4 years were a little rough. The two men are similar in many ways, laid back, respectful to the media and fans, and professional in their approach to the game. The only difference between them is really that Daniel is much more mobile than Eli was. Eli, you need to protect him for him to do well. Daniel can move. He's very mobile. Quote, I think that's why we've been pals and stayed in touch. I've never had resentment toward him in any way just because I appreciate the way he's handled his business. Eli said of Jones in an interview with The Athletic. Quote, I appreciate the way he's come in and worked hard and dealt with the controversy and dealt with the ups and downs. He's always wanted to make improvements and get better. I appreciate his attitude and his commitment to football. I'm rooting for him and I'm a fan of him. Now, Manning obviously was the Giants quarterback. He's probably the greatest Giants quarterback in the history of the team. And he's got a big legacy here. But if you followed Eli, he was very unassuming when he played. I obviously didn't realize he had such a big personality. But when he played, he was very unassuming, he worked hard. And he showed a lot of respect to Jones because he basically gave up his job as the Giants as the Giants' starting quarterback when he played at the end. The article continues, these days, Manning, who played his entire 16-year NFL career, Big Blue, ending in 2019, is more of a fan, but still finds some time to mentor his former teammate, friend, and successor. Earlier this summer, the two hung out together at Eli's house in the Hamptons. As one can imagine, it wasn't quite a blowout of a party. That goes without saying. He was a good house guest, Manning said. We had a good time, definitely had some fun. We played some golf, worked out. He worked out and threw. I just kind of was out of there coaching some of his kids up. It was good to hang out with him and get to do that. Both men are swimming in money and fame, but you'd never know it. I don't know about Jones yet, about fame. They get up every day and go about the business. When Manning retired, he had the distinction of making the most money of any player in NFL history over their career. He's now one of the most successful sports celebrity pitchmen in the world. His newest gig is for the beer conglomerate Corona. Jones is following his predecessor, inking a 4-year extension with $160 million. Many pan the deal, saying Jones hasn't had enough success yet to earn such a payday. Manning disagrees. It can be stressful when you don't know what your circumstances are, where you're playing, or how you're thought of, he said. You got coaches changing and GMs changing. I think it's important for him to know this coaching staff and upper management have faith in him and have trust in him that he can go out there and earn everything that he's gotten. End quote. What Jones doesn't have yet that Manning does is a championship. Eli said Jones wants that badly and is determined not to only to take the Giants to the top, but to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Quote, I think he still feels like he has a lot to prove, that he wants to win a championship, be one of the best quarterbacks. That's what he's working towards. I think he's worked really hard. I think he feels very comfortable in this offense and being the leader of this team and taking ownership and that responsibility. You know, I would say, even though he was playing poorly for a few years, Daniel always pointed the finger at himself. He never blamed anybody else for any of his shortfalls. He wants to go out there and play well, Manning said. Manning stays close to the game these days. He's hard to miss. He lives in New Jersey, attends Giants games frequently, and is seen all over in his countless ads for a myriad of products. It's been 4 years since Eli donned the blue. He was asked what it is like for him to watch a game in 23. Quote, I think it's just like the average fan. If I'm at the game, I've got my kids. I'm just sitting there, and usually I'm going to get them snacks and food. I've got my Corona and just enjoying the atmosphere. Manning said, I'm not trying to watch too much of the defense and what's going on. I don't know the plays coming in. I don't know their offense and what they're doing. Sometimes if I really get to sit there and have a moment for critical plays in the game, the 2-minute drives, the fourth-quarter situations, I'll get dialed in a little bit just so if I see Daniel after the game, I could say, that, quote, that was good. They were playing this. I can ball with him, which not everybody can do. Hopefully they'll be talking about Super Bowls at some point. Again from GiantsWire.USA today, headline, NFL executive, Giants Daniel Jones has what you look for in a quarterback. People are really liking Daniel Jones, I gotta say. New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones had his best season in 2022. He was then flawless in the first postseason game against the Minnesota Vikings in the wildcard round. Because of his 22 performance, Jones was able to earn a lucrative multi-year deal with the Giants this offseason. And even though he has silenced many of the biggest doubters, others still have a hard time buying into Jones as a starting quarterback. At least one NFL executive doesn't fall into that category, as they recently told Matt Lombardo. Quote, Daniel has what you look for, the executive said. He's got size, he's accurate, and he's plenty athletic to make things happen. Jones' rushing game is a massive part of what makes him successful. However, we may see a little bit less of that this season with the added weapons in the passing game. Last season, Jones cut down the turnovers heavily, which certainly aided the Giants' success. With the contact secured, the weapons added, and second offseason under Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, Jones should put it all together to take a massive leap this season. And finally, A to Z Sports is predicting that this will be the best season of Daniel Jones' short career. New York Giants kick off the 23 NFL regular season in 1 week. Soon, New York will be taking on the rival Dallas Cowboys in prime time on Sunday Night Football for a national audience to see. As with any time these teams match up, there is a lot of intrigue on both sides. For the Giants, expectations are high after the team surprised and made the playoffs during the first season of the Brian Daboll era. If the Giants are going to build on last year's campaign, Daniel Jones will be a big reason why. Jones inked a contract extension in the offseason, and New York made a big move to acquire Pro Bowl tight end Darren Waller to make his job and life a little easier. Pro Football Focus is high on Jones entering the upcoming regular season. NFL analyst Sam Monson boldly predicts that Jones will have the highest PFF grade of his career. Quote, many expected Brian Daboll to get the best out of Daniel Jones last season, and while some numbers certainly improved, he still passed for just 6.8 yards per attempt and earned a 76 PFF grade, lower than his career high of 78.4 in 2020. It's impossible to overlook the lack of receivers Jones had last season, though. The addition of Waller and continued development of the rest of the weapons around Jones is a big factor in why. After all, the New York Signal Call showed a bit of what he can do with last year's group of pass catchers. The team improving that group in the offseason should lead to a jump in play from Jones, even before factoring in a second season in the system and any natural development. He has Darren Waller to be a principal target. As you know, he played great, Darren Waller, in his first game in the preseason, as well as more live threats at receiver. This should be the best version of Daniel Jones we have seen in the NFL. All eyes will be on Daniel Jones as the New York Giants look to make even more noise in the NFL this upcoming season. Now, if you're in New York, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you're in New York, the big gorilla in the room is Aaron Rodgers. And because of Aaron Rodgers, it is going to be interesting to see how Daniel is able to sort of fly under the radar. That's something you cannot forget about. So if Aaron Rodgers has a big game and Daniel Jones has a big game, Daniel's not going to get much play. Nobody's going to pay attention. Just like if Aaron Rodgers has a bad game, people aren't going to notice Daniel, whatever he's doing. So you could not have found a better situation for Daniel. He's got a massive contract. He's on a team that is up and coming. They're not expected to go to the Super Bowl this year. So they're the second team, quote unquote, in town right now with the big bad Jets playing, on the days they're not playing in MetLife Stadium. So he has kind of a ability to sort of do well with not a lot of people watching him so much. So we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited for the season. People should be excited for him playing and getting this thing rolling. We'll get rolling in another week. And of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut. We have all kinds of stuff here. Live streams will be coming up at some point. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and day, and I'll see you later.